dinner there at the Grand Cultural Center. It used to be part of the Cats Club, and what I did there was I helped the soup kitchen, and I also helped knit donuts. When I'm not doing some after-school activities, I'm home helping out in the house. My brother Jake is autistic, so I make sure I get help with dinner and help him get ready for work at Devereaux. I also use my time to try to write as many scholarships as I can to make sure I get money so I don't pay so much for school. It's about $20,000. Some of my future plans I do is after graduating high school, I do intend to go to Penn State Worthington for 2 years, and then afterwards go to the main campus at Penn State for about 2 years. Plan on going to major as a meteorologist, and many people tell me to kick Joe Seneca out of this job. I'd like to thank you guys again for letting me talk about my achievements. And that's about it.
Well, congratulations, Wyatt. We wish you all the best as you go on to Penn State. It's a great school, and we're sure you'll do great there. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Go on. Dr. LeCoq?
Yeah, Mr. Hollister, I'd like to take a minute to recognize some faculty we have present with us tonight. All of our faculty work very hard for all of our children, and they do a tremendous job. I wanted to recognize this group in particular because I feel very strongly that the gift of early literacy is one of the most important gifts we give to our children. And across the district, we have a group of teachers who are working right now with third grade children who recently were informed that relative to other schools in the intermediate unit around us, which is 20 school districts in the Northeast, our third grade actually ranked third in literacy achievement for third grade. And, the gift of early literacy is one that you really can't beat. It's invaluable. So I'd like to recognize Stacy Box, Brenda Capo, Grace Kloss, Cheryl Davitt, Allison Gillis, and Kelly Benton. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. This is the time we have set aside for public recognition. Is there anyone that would care to address the board? Yes, how are you, Roger?
Good, thank you. If you could just indulge me for a moment, I'm a little confused. At the work session, we had briefly spoke about Dr. Johnson's attempts for the video. I've been coming here since June, and I've sparred with some of you, and sometimes it's been good, sometimes not so good. I understand you guys, because of my behavior, may not want to lift a finger to help me or take me seriously, but this woman's been very professional. We need to get her some support in this endeavor.
We are investigating that. We've actually received 2 draft copies of policies. We'll develop a policy for it. We've gotten copies of 2 other school districts that are using it. And our IT department is just trying to decide whether it's going to be live video streaming or whether it's going to be cached in an archive file. So we're working on both ends. As soon as the board reviews those policies, I think they just went out last week or the week before. So the board has copies of those policies. We'll create our own policy with Mr. Sheen's direction, and that'll be added to our policy folder, and then we can move forward on it.
Oh, excellent, I appreciate that.
Yeah. It took a while to get that rolling, but it is back up on the priority list.
Ultimately, I'd just like you to prove me wrong that no matter how you approach the board, it seems like you're going to do what you're going to do. And if you can prove me wrong by helping her get this done, you gain more flies with honey.
Our goal is not to prove anybody wrong. We just want to do what's right. It was a matter of prioritizing.
It's a very important thing.
Yeah, it was a matter of prioritizing.
And our behavior may be may improve, knowing that we're under the spotlight.
Your behavior or ours?
Yours.
Okay, is there anyone else? Hi, Joe, how are you?
Fine, how are you? I have a few questions I'd like to put to the board. Of the $42 million budget, is the preliminary budget, that include the 5.45% interest or tax?
Yes.
I'm sorry, the question was, does the 42 proposed budget include the 5.45?
Yes.
Yes. Correct me when I'm wrong.
No, you are right.
Yes, it does.
So, in other words, that's going to go forward, or it's just a preliminary budget with,
It's
subject to cuts and changes?
yeah, it's exactly that. It's a preliminary
Okay, that's
budget.
good, that's good. Okay, Dr. LaCoe,
Yeah.
is that right? Did I say your name right? On the Keystone test, is this district going ahead with the Keystone test?
Yes.
That means you will
Keystone-
accept the money so you can give the test,
Except what money?
the funding for testing?
Yeah, we will, because it's not so much the funding that we will or won't accept, it's the law.
But if you refuse the funding, you don't have to give the test.
No, I think we do have to give the test. The tests are mandated by law. The class of 2017 has to pass, take and pass, a Keystone exam in Algebra 1, Literature, and Biology in order to graduate. It's a graduation
All
requirement.
right, I'm not trying to cut you off, I'm just trying to get my points in.
Sure.
If a child, boy or girl, does not pass Keystone test, he doesn't get a diploma, correct?
Yes and no.
Okay, wait a minute, wait. Yes or no is two answers, I want
Yes,
one,
there's two
please.
answers, because there are two answers.
What's the
If the
second?
child takes and does not pass the Keystone exam, okay?
Yeah.
Each Keystone exam has 2 modules, okay? So let's say a child takes the Keystone exam and they pass both modules on the test, they've passed the test. If they pass one of 2, then they get a chance to retake either module or both modules as many times as they need to. If at some point in time, we've come to the conclusion that no matter what a child does, that they can't pass that test, the state has provided another mechanism, okay? It's a type of project that the child can complete, that's reviewed and approved by the state, that they can do in lieu of passing the Keystone exam.
But it still boils down to is the child did not pass the test initially, so they don't get a diploma that day or whatever, right? Am I right or wrong on that?
Correct.
Okay, then supposing I'm this child and I fail the test with a very small error margin, and I want to go into service. I can't go into service, even though I'm a very good student in every other field. And I feel that the Keystone test is really squeezing down on the individual child. And yet you're still going to go ahead and accept the Keystone money and the Keystone test and put this extra pressure on the kids that are having a hard enough time as it is now. And I can't see you guys accepting that money just to give a test. There's not really a mandate, is it?
Let's separate.
Only if you accept the money.
No, that's not true. It's, the Keystone exams are law. Kids have to take. I separate the tests from the money, regardless of whether, and I'm not sure what money you're referring to, if it's just state subsidy, but the kids need to take the test.
Okay, I beat that one to death. Fine, you've answered my question. One more question. Has any of the board members met with any of our political leaders and asked them about unfunded mandates?
Recently?
Anytime in the last
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You have?
multiple times.
Which politic have you met
Lisa
with?
Baker
If I may, Lisa
and Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer? Senator Major's not in this district.
Yes, she is now.
Yeah.
He is now?
As of
Okay.
December.
Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. I appreciate it.
We are a member of the PSBA, which is the Pennsylvania School Boards Association, and the School Boards Association is fighting very hard to overturn the Keystone exams.
I think it's really squeezing the kids to a point where they're not going to be able to test and pass, and then they have opportunities taken away from them because of the limited time factor that they have to pass. I know it's not limited that way, but suppose a guy just, good football player, good band member, and he gets out of school and he has no diploma and he wanted to go into service. He's out of the ballpark.
It's the message you need to send to Lisa Baker.
I will bring it up next time I speak to her.
Please do.
Yeah, absolutely.
She'll give you the same answer though, Joe.
Pardon?
She'll give you the same answer though.
Yeah, but politicians can be held, their feet can be held to the fire too.
Yeah. These mandates.
Thank you
These
very
mandates
much.
they can't control though, really, to be honest with you. I mean, same thing with Tom Marino when it comes to the federal mandates. They could do a lot of talk and they could try to put pressure on the Department of Education, but ultimately their sway only goes so far.
And I'll bring it up to next time I talk to him too.
Yeah. I just have a question.
The more we bring it up, the more reaction we're gonna get,
I just
hopefully.
have a question concerning the Keystone exams, Dr. McCall.
Sure.
Would that project be added on to the senior project that the children already do here at the Western Wayne School District?
It's separate.
It's separate?
Yeah.
So we couldn't use it as a
No,
bait and switch?
no. Well, no, I would say no. The project itself is actually the test broken down into smaller chunks. So I wouldn't recommend we use that for a senior project.
I just didn't know.
It's a good question. Yeah.
The PSSA test, right, AJ, which have been given for about 10 years since No Child Left Behind was passed. They were at first, I think they were in 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 8th. Anyway, right now, they became 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 11th grade. They were required by the No Child Left Behind law. The Keystone test replaced the 11th grade PSSA. So currently, the PSSA tests are still in existence. They're high-stakes tests, and they are in grades 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the Keystone tests are instead of the 11th, and they can be taken when you complete a high school level course. For instance, if an 8th grader does algebra, a high school algebra course, which some of our 8th graders do, they are then eligible to take the algebra Keystone test and bank that score for the future. So all 3 tests are, all high school graduates are expected to perform on the 3 tests in place of the 11th grade, old 11th grade PSSA. That's basically what it is.
Thank you. Do you have anyone else that would care to address the board? Yes.
Just briefly, the videos are online now, so it certainly would be, I think, helpful to link them to the Western Wayne website while you're going through all the important documents and procedures. Just put a notation on there, just like we do on Facebook. You can do it
Yeah,
on
I know
Facebook.
exactly what you mean, and again,
Right.
that may be a policy restriction, and we'll look at that.
Right, because that way that everybody would know. Of course, you know, with Facebook, it's pretty easy to spread things
Yeah.
around, but just one more avenue
Yeah.
for people to be able to become informed. And the other question, if I could, is during the presentation that Dr. LeCaux did, where we were introduced to what's not mandated by the state, some of the different areas had an amount attached to them, a fiscal amount. Can we get that amount from last year's budget? I realize that you can't do it for this year's budget yet, it's too soon, but can we please have that itemized per grouping so that we know what financial is attached to each area? Sports, arts, music, all of that. Can we do that from last year's budget? Is that something we can do? So that as a community, we can start seeing what's involved with each and every one of those areas that you were telling us are not mandated by the
We're
state.
looking at doing it for this year's budget moving forward, but until we know our staffing needs, it's hard to put a number to them.
Right.
As the budget matures, as we get into March, April, and May, those numbers will become.
But as we're trying to catch up with the enormous amount of information, pages and pages, it would be helpful, I think, for us to have that same kind of information you provided, say, like for the athletics, how much it was as a block sum. I realize this year is going to be somewhat different than the year before, but at least it gives us a starting point to compare and contrast so we can do trending and start becoming more familiar, because $42 million is such an enormous amount to kind of get your head wrapped around when you're looking at it as a lump sum. And 8 pages of itemized lists here that you have are nice, but to kind of compartmentalize it, I think would be very beneficial till you can provide a line budget. I realize that's going to be a little while, just so we start becoming familiar. That would be very helpful.
Excuse me, Dr. LeCaux,
Yes, Mrs. Bliss?
I just wanted to confirm that you still have me on board.
Yep, we're good. Doctor, that's something we can look at.
Okay, great, thank you.
Anyone else?
I just have a follow-up question when it comes to the video stream. Are we going to put this to a vote on the board Because I think we're gonna look at policies, okay?
Yeah.
But have we made a decision definitively that we're gonna go ahead and stream this online?
Stream it or make it available?
Either or.
I think we're gonna do it. Once we adopt the policy, then we'll enact it. Yeah. I can't see anyone not wanting to.
Yeah. I mean, but usually with our policies, it's from the policy committee brings it to a vote
Right.
for the policy.
Right.
We're not voting on either we're gonna do A or B. Okay,
Right.
so say they come back with a
Right.
suggestion to go archive. And some board members wanna have a live stream to be real-time feed for those that wanna see the meetings. Obviously, we're gonna come to this discussion sooner or later when it comes to pertains to live stream against archive. So,
We will come to that discussion.
yeah, I just wanna make sure that we.
I see it being enacted one way or the other, and actually, I think it'll be both. I think it'll be streaming, and then I think it'll be archived and be available.
I just didn't know if you were gonna.
And if you read those policies that you got, it's retained just like any of your other board documents. It's not the official copy of the board meeting, but it's retained and then discarded after whatever your policy period is, whether it's 3 or 7 years. But I see it being live streaming and then also archived for that period of time. So, I would think. So, and again, until we sit down and talk about it as a board, we don't know what's gonna happen, but that's my guess is what would happen. Anybody have any comments on that or thoughts? Anyone else from the audience?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Well,
everybody.
you know what? I do have one more comment. This is actually positive. 2 months ago,
I'd expect nothing less, right?
absolutely. 2 months ago, my daughter is in 8th grade, going to be moving up to 9th. And there was a curriculum night with parents and students. I just want to say thank you to the district. After I left that meeting, I felt like I wanted to be in 9th grade again. Because, I mean, you truly do give a good education here. So
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hearing no others, we'll move on with the agenda. Item 11, do we have a motion? I'm sorry, the enrollment is provided for your information. Sorry, yes. Are there any questions on the enrollment? Yeah. We'll go on to item 11 then. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that I recommend that the Board of Education approve the attached resolution to ratify the board's action of January 26 and/or January 27, 2015 at a subsequent public meeting of the board, as per the attachment 1.
I'll second the motion.
The motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments?
I have a question. Did we ever hear back from Mr. Tucker concerning if he had a follow-up with PD?
Not from PD.
About a definitive answer?
No, nothing.
Nothing back? So again, there's nothing definitive as the motion states when it comes to clarity from the Department of Education.
Not from PD.
Not from PD.
Not from PD.
From our council, there is, and that it was done properly.
But he didn't get any confirmation from the Department of Education is my question.
Right.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Mr. Hollister,
Yes.
I could not hear the motion.
The motion is that the board approve the attached resolution to ratify the board's actions of January 26th and/or 27th, 2015 at a subsequent public meeting of the board, and that is the attachment resolution that was in your packet.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no.
No.
Any abstaining? The ayes have it by a vote of 8 yes and 1 no by Mr. Gaudenzi. Motion 12, do we have a motion?
I move that the Board of Education allow the Technology Department to apply for E-rate funding to purchase a replacement internet tool.
I'm sorry. 12, item 12. You're right, Mr. Roseman.
What's that?
You're right, I was wrong.
Which one is it?
Item 12.
Preliminary budget.
Yes. Are we on the right agenda?
Mine is an old copy.
Yeah, mine's an old copy from
2 seconds. Hold on, Mrs. Puss.
Okay.
All right. You got the right one?
I don't know. That's it.
All right. Yep, and
I mean, I brought everything I got in the mail.
Temporary and something needs some trees.
It's the